Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on my journey through the ecological dynamics and constraints-led approach for grappling. I am your host, Sam Battlefields, and I appreciate you along for my journey. And I hope you had a chance to listen to my interview or my podcast with Ian Renshaw and Michael Maloney. Really cool. They're the guy. Well, Ian is the author of, or one of the authors of this book, The Constraints-Led Approach, and he is very knowledgeable in the field. And his PhD student Mick, who I'm pretty sure I called Mike, even though he asked me to call him Mick, so apologies for that, Mick. He also has quite a bit of experience with combat sports and using the constraints-led approach for that. So it was really cool. If you get the chance, check it out. It is a bit of a longer one, but went through quite a bit of info and got a little bit of validation on my way. Today I just wanted to do a rundown of a comment that jumped on my John Danaher, asking John Danaher video, and I want to say thank you very much, Slick222. I appreciate that you commented on my stuff. I appreciate that you may have listened to some of it. I'm not sure if you did with some of the things that you've come up with. But what we've uncovered, so you put this this particular comment up, and I just wanted to go through it because I think you're a bit misinformed. Not having a go. I'm trying not to be, Greg Souders in your face. I think there's a place for that. He's made a name for himself, and that's awesome. Like by making a name for himself, he's made he's made a pathway for my journey, and so I appreciate Greg, and I actually appreciate his approach as well. To be honest, if I had found this, and I was one of the first to do it, I'd be sticking my middle finger up as well to you. So initially he said, guys, ED, and I appreciate you using ED as well. It's not erectile dysfunction, but ecological dynamics is marketing. All right, so bang, straight away, incorrect. Souders seems like a good coach with some good ideas, but his claims about how different what he's doing are pure marketing. Well, that's incorrect. I mean, I've seen a little bit of what Greg does, so all right, mate, I'm going to just say maybe. All right, let's just say maybe. Okay. The audacity to claim drilling is wrong should trigger red flags in everyone. Okay, so again, this is why I say I think you're or uninformed. Especially as you say, drilling is the cornerstone of every skill-based gold medal. Wrestling. This is a big one. Wrestling, judo, tennis, and everything else. Okay, so wrestling does virtually none of this dead drilling, right? From what I understand. They are probably the biggest proponents of the constraints-led approach. I know that judo, I've spoken to a number of judo black belts from the US, and they've said that, US and Canada, I think it might be Canada, and they have said that back in the 90s, some of the national judo organizations were actually implementing this, and tennis and everything else. Now, you say tennis and everything else like you've got a clue about that, right? Here's the thing. This is, say, a few decades, right? So this is about, it's been since the 50s it was postulated but since about the 90s, the constraints-led approach has sort of had a look in. Do you really think that you know what's going on behind the doors of a heap of these pro athletes? Because you've said tennis and everything else. I mean, there is literally, I'm sure in these books that I'm reading, there is literally information about how to get better at tennis. Actually, there is. I've read, pretty sure, maybe it's in this. No, it's definitely in the constraints-led approach. Something about tennis and how they use the constraints-led approach to improve it. All right. Everything else. Here's the thing. There's Rob Gray, who is the author of How We Learn to Move and Learning to Optimize Movement. You know, he's been a part of a professional baseball team looking to improve their players. Right? You don't have a clue what's going on behind these multi-million-dollar sports, and it's very likely that a ton of these guys, and a ton of these pro sports are putting this stuff into effect, and furthermore, I literally spoke to Michael Maloney, who is in Australian sports, so he was in the combat sports like enclave. I can't remember what he called it, but they got all the Olympic combat sports and put them together and shared information about training, right? And he was one of their skill acquisition specialists. So, but I think, now I'm getting a bit heated here, but I think the thing that you're having an issue with is the idea of drilling, all right? They still do drilling. I still do drilling. It's just active drilling. It's not, and it's drilling where I don't show, all right, you need to do this armbar 1,000 times. The drilling that I do is you need to do this task that gets you in the position in order to be in the right position to be able to complete an armbar, which is infinitely better than doing put your leg here, put your hands here, put your arm here, put your leg there, and pull back and extend your hips. None of that is as beneficial as getting to that point. All right, I'm gonna pare it back a little bit there. So I heard a smart applied physics guy who owns a successful business in the field say what Souders is doing isn't ecological dynamics. All right, physics guy. Okay. If you don't already know, ED comes from the world of applied physics, and GS is importing it from physics to BJJ. You're incorrect. Flat out incorrect. So, let's review the actual book. Ecological dynamics theory. A constraints-led framework predicated on an ecological dynamics theory, incorporating key ideas from ecological psychology, dynamical systems theory, ecological and dynamics, evolutionary biology, and the complexity sciences. Okay? Now, if we're saying the complexity sciences is physics, okay, but there's that's in kind of the back end, right? There's ecological psychology and dynamical systems theory. As you said, it comes from the world of you. That's incorrect. So I would suggest initially reading Rob Gray's How We Learn to Move. It's a great introduction. It gives you an idea, a layman's view of what we're talking about here, because at the moment you don't seem to have it. So according to this guy Greg Souders doesn't understand it very well and doesn't realise that ED is an unproven theory. Well, correct, yeah. It is not... it is a theoretical framework within which there has been a significant amount of evidence to suggest. So, yeah, okay, unproven theory. That's an interesting way to say it. It's not an established science. Well, you know, well, here's the thing. Like, treats it like gravity. Well, I mean, we're learning more about gravity, so that's, you know, there's a whole other thing there. So, but the problem that I see with your postulation here is that you haven't seen any of Greg Souders' works, as in classes. And if you have, let me know. And let me know exactly what happened. Because from what I can tell, an ecological dynamics approach is a test and measure approach. You are doing ecological dynamics while you are doing ecological dynamics. All right? And at the end of every class, as I have done on this fucking channel, I have reviewed what I've been doing. All right? So this guy said that what Souders is doing is more like his own peculiar version of specific training. And from what I've seen, his coaching looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, you could say that, except for, again, I've read the literature. I understand what he's trying to achieve. And you're right, his coaching looks pretty good. I would strongly suggest checking out my Requiem video a couple of videos back. It gives why I believe I got what benefits I believe I have got and what benefits I believe my students have got. And I have on the horizon an interview with a couple of my students that I'm going to put on this channel as well. The problem is not what he does likes, it's the way he categorizes what he's doing and the antisocial and delusional way he treats everyone else. I mean, this is sad. Have you listened to any of his fucking podcasts? People, he can come across as abrasive. I'm not saying that, but it's because people are just either they're non-skipping, they're just repeating the same shit over and over again, or they are in some ways hostile to the idea. So, which is what you seem to be. Why does Mika Val drill like an animal? Well, that's the Ados way. Mikey Musamichi. Haven't really seen them. Andre Galval, drill to win. On and on and on. GD is nowhere near their level and consumers shouldn't believe he knows everything, blah, blah, blah. Real elite guys don't do that. GD is claiming all that because, I mean, this is, you know, this is fucking rude, in my opinion. You're saying he's a con man. Look, go and have a look at his Instagram post. His students are fucking winning, mate. They're not winning at probably the rate, and even Greg says it. They're not winning at the rate that he expected to be at right now, but they're still fucking cleaning up. And he does none of the typical way of teaching. So, like, they're still cleaning up, mate. And anyway, drill to win, right? Like, here's the thing: I haven't watched any Mika Galval, I haven't watched any Andre, Mikey Musamichi, or Mendez brothers. All right, are they drilling? Are they drilling with intent? Are they drilling with a non-resistant partner? If that's the case, then essentially, you know, they're doing a form of constraints-led approach, right? So Okay. But if you're saying just dead drilling is how you do it, sorry, dead drilling does not give you timing, does not give you balance, and does not give you a sense of feel and a sense of touch. Sorry, man. Like, that's just the reality. That's why, essentially, situational sparring is a thing. And I want to pull this up. Like, one of the reasons why I spoke to John Danaher and I asked him the question was because he literally said in either an interview or the previous seminar that I've been to that Gary Tonin he would just put himself in a deeply sunk in rear naked choke or rear naked strangle, as he says, and he would just go at that position until he figured out how to get out of it consistently, right? And he got choked out along the way a whole heap of times, right? So, in that case, that's what I said. I know that Craig Jones does that. I know that that Gordon Ryan does that. And I know, as for myself, that's what when I used to come across something that I needed to work on, I put myself in that position and I worked on it, right? And then I got better at it. So why, like, if all these people are doing this exact thing, why would you say that he's a con man for taking the thing that kind of seems to be got a shit ton of literature behind it, and B, about, let's say, 50% of the top guys in the world are doing it? It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. So anyway, even if you pointed to Moneyball to say sometimes the conventional wisdom in a sport is wrong, I would agree with you and proceed to show you why it is apple and oranges to ED. Moneyball, the baseball movie. So this is actually where you are absolutely wrong. Like, and I'm absolutely wrong. But Rob Gray, How We Learn to Move, go and read that book. He is, they looked at this. They looked at the batting cage, and they looked at batters hitting balls from a machine versus an actual pitcher. If you're saying the baseball version of drilling is the batting cage with a machine, where it's boom, 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 similar, if not exactly the same, ball trajectory, etc., then you're wrong. All right? Now, if you say that the batting cage with various pitches, various different people pitching, you would be in a better ballpark. All right? But that is ecological dynamics, and because there's a perception action that occurs, because some of these guys can throw so fast that you have to actually be making the decision as to where that bat is to connect. You have to be, your body has to be already in fucking flight to hit that ball because of the speed from which. So that actually shows the ecological dynamics section, perception action coupling, better than you could imagine. So your example kind of falls flat there, because that's literally, I mean, your Moneyball reference has absolutely nothing to do with this. And in fact, as I said, you get good at baseball by the baseball version of drilling, the batting cage. Okay, yes, if you have the baseball version of pitching, yes. All right? and pictures, not drilling, not rote drilling, where it's the same thing over and over again, where you just get in a pattern of doing the same thing over and over again. No resistance, no change, no variation. Bang, 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 bang. It's not going to make you better, bro. Promise you. BJJ, okay. Bill James and Billie Jean gave, for example, a much higher value on a base percent and slugging percentage. Yeah, I'm Australian, bro. I don't mind baseball, but only because you can get drunk and watch it. So BJJ brands are built by attracting the guys willing to sacrifice everything to be champs. Okay. I mean, that's a interesting postulation. It's actually, an old school mentality. I mean, I train with guys my age. I'm fucking 42 years old, bro. Like, what? Well, I'm going to become world's fucking Masters 3 champ? I mean, it's not even a thing. It's not even like, not taken away from the world, but I'm not going to be fucking world champion. There's fucking kids that have been doing it since they were fucking 4, and they're 22-year-old black belts. Like, come on, man. Think about it. You can, like, if you're saying BJJ brands that, like, well-known BJJ brands that are built by attracting guys willing to... But what happens if I'm just looking to hang out with a good bunch of people who want to learn a sick martial art in a way that there's a bit of competition, gets out? Yeah, this is silly. I mean, Daisy Fresh is following the Carlson Gracie and later Atos model. Don't charge guys. Let them sleep at the gym if they want to, and show them how to max. I mean, okay, bro. Like, I don't know what this has got to do with me. GD is trying to John Danaher model, be a guru. I mean, convince guys you have secrets others don't. Bro, are you fucking for real? Oh my god, this is the dumbest thing you've written. And I'm not saying that to be an asshole, but it is genuinely a really dumb statement. All right. He has literally gone on a podcast tour for the last year and a half, telling people where he picked up his stuff, what he read. He's literally got resources left, right, and center for you to go out and do what, pick up what he's done. In fact, he is opening the door that was closed with the traditional fucking method and the traditional approach to it, where it's like, no, we are the source, you come to us and we will drip feed you a linear progression that is up to us and that we can give to you, and only we can give to you. It's fucking retarded. It's retarded. At least JD has proven himself with Ryan Tonnen. Okay, yeah. I mean, as I said, John Danaher is an absolute legend. He even said that he uses a constraints model on, portions of his training. So their secret source isn't special knowledge. It's their 100% devotion to no-gi, which basically nobody else does besides 10th Planet, another guru model that has underperformed in no-gi, considering their considerable marketing, branding, and total lack of gi to distract from no-gi. I mean, look, gi is just no-gi with the gi on. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, I'm trying not to come across too harsh, but some of the stuff in this is just like, you clearly have zero idea. You've done no research. You You haven't steel-manned your arguments at all. The fact that you're using baseball as a way to prove one of your points, when baseball it actually proves ecological dynamics, and the constraints-led approach actually works, is fucking awesome. Like, I really appreciate you putting that in, because that's a self-dunk. Like, you dunked on yourself. Like, it's like you grab the ball down at your end of the court, and like, yeah, fuck. I was just trying to think of a better baseball analogy, but I'm Australian. I don't know baseball. Yeah. Anyway, this was me sort of countering a comment by Slick222. I don't want to give this guy shit. I just think he's uninformed. I just think he should have been better informed before writing out a mini a mini novel for me. But again, like, I appreciate that he's engaging. So thank you very much, Mr. Slick222. No hate to this guy, guys. I've all 16 of my my subscribers, but I don't want you sending any hate this guy's way. Hopefully he does pick up Rob Gray's How We Learn to Move. And hopefully he does, because that will answer a whole heap of these initial questions. But yeah, basically not the dunk that he thought he was going to do. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks very much for joining me. Peace.